How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to the house in Fata Morgana, where we have just seen the conclusion of Michel's life story. And now that everything's been laid bare, I can only hope that Giselle can find the compassion in her heart and the flaring of her feelings for him. It's tough, though. Like, I was thinking about it before, and I'm absolutely, floored and touched and, moved by his feelings. But, I also have to think, again, it's if I felt that, I felt like I was falling in love with somebody. I mean, they had fallen in love, really. But then to find out that they had a history like his, not the abuse, but just, the physical changes, the effective biological transgenderism, that would be such a crazy thing to have to try and wrap my mind around. I don't know. And then not even just the mind-blowing part of it, it's also the aspect of something if you always imagined yourself having kids, it could be tough to get used to the idea that you could fall in love with this person but that you would never be able to have biological children. I'm all for adoption. It's absolutely something I think is going to even be a part of my future. But not everyone is all up for that. And a lot of people would prefer to have biological kids first. And so it's a good question to ask yourselves, could you overcome those types of barriers? I hope so. But it's something I've never really had to contemplate, never seriously. And yeah, I think there are people who must be in that situation and have to really confront that. And, I think it's healthy to have that thought process, but how crazy would that be? I don't know. It's one of those things that's just kind of challenging. It'd be tough. It'd be tough to get through, and it's an experience that I think is tough to relate to. I wonder if Giselle is able to accept it and move forward. I want to see her thought process behind it, because this would be such a new experience for me. And that's what this visual novel is great at doing, is thrusting me into situations and thought zones that I've never gone to before. But I'm kind of scared. Let's figure out where the heck this is going to go and how it's going to play out. So join me again as we jump right in. And so my life came to an end. But that wasn't the end of the story. I don't know if what comes next could be called my story, but memories of these events linger in my soul. After being pierced by Deiter's blade. Oh, okay, so the story continues, although it's more like an echo. I found myself looking down upon my own corpse. How could I have ever imagined that I would be made to witness my own misery even in death? I watched as my eldest brother dragged me from the place of my crucifixion, and my soul, evidently still bound to my flesh, was dragged along with it, against my will, down to the nearby village. The knights! The knights have returned from their holy quest. Oh, how we have awaited your arrival. How glorious it is to see you. Waiting for us there was a cluster of villagers. A large cross lay on the ground in the center of the square. Holding torches, they formed a crowd around the knights, several of them familiar faces. The men who had come to ransack the mansion were standing there, staring at my body in awe. Ah, Amandi, I remember him. Ah, the Lord's judgment has been delivered unto the witch of the cursed mansion by his holy servants. No longer shall we live in fear of the curse befalling us. Eternal peace is assured. We have assembled all the tools needed to execute your divine mission. A cross befitting of such a heinous sinner. That which threatened to curse us, sullied our pure ears with its blasphemy. I had done no such thing. I hadn't cursed anyone. I had merely been defending myself. They had been armed and outnumbered me, so I had said what was necessary to chase them off. Our poor harvest and our suffering at the hands of the greedy Lord were all the work of the witch. Why then were they acting like I was at fault? Why was I the sinner, and why did I need to be judged? My soul trembled at the overwhelming fervor consuming the crowd. Their zealous desire to see judgment cast. So I prayed. I asked God to grant me the smallest of miracles, to let my voice reach my brother who carried my body. Please, don't do this, Deiter. Please hear my voice. You know me better than that. You know I've done nothing wrong. Those men smirking at the sight of my body, they're the ones putting the blame for their sins on me. Please, tell me you at least don't think I did those things. Don't put me on that cross. If it was Mother who sold me out to the church, then surely you can give me a respectable burial. The nails and rope for the crucifixion are here. We would have you, O knight, deliver the Lord's judgment unto this vile witch. Deiter, why do you say nothing? Why do you accept the tools this man presents you? Tools meant to punish me. Tell me, Deiter. Crucifixion! Crucify it! Crucify the witch! My brother lowered the corpse onto the ground and began removing my clothing. And in that very moment I realized the purpose of hanging someone from a cross. Overwhelmed by hopelessness, tears streamed down my face. Please, anything but that, I'm begging you. Don't expose me to these people. Don't expose my body, Deiter. I'm begging you. Don't do it. But of course, my voice had no way of reaching him, and he proceeded to remove my clothing piece by piece, until I was left fully nude. For a brief moment, an unpleasant silence spread through the crowd. The erratic crackling of the torches was the only sound that could be heard in the square. And then, with a mocking laugh, one man spoke. Ah, so there it is, the devilish creature. Poor man. Don't look at me, please, look away. Or just get it over with and burn me now. Burn my body, please. One simple thing was all I was missing. I had a frame like a man. I lacked breasts of a woman. My heart was male. I was in love with a woman. You sold your soul to the devil, and this is what you became. This frightful, reprehensible creature. To dare defile the sacred body of God blessed you with. Was that what people really thought of me? Was there no way to make them understand? Could they not possibly imagine how miserable it was to live in a body that didn't fit the shape of your soul? Fetch. Oh, what a way to say that. Was there no way to get through to them, even the slightest bit? That's all I wanted was to be what I felt I was. Was that really so heinous a crime? Please, Deiter, stop this. Don't humiliate me any further. Please, just let me depart this world in peace. Carry my body away from this place. That's all I ask. And if you can't do that, then at least burn me instead. Deiter. Deiter. He then placed my body upon the cross, bound my arms together at the wrist with a rope, and then drove a nail through my palms. I couldn't look away. I tried to close my eyes, but I couldn't. My vision remained perfectly clear despite the constant streams of my tears. Now, this is interesting. Like, crucifixion was a punishment that was enacted by the Romans, possibly earlier than that, but the Romans really popularized it in what we now refer to. What's interesting to me is it's become a holy symbol. The cross that represents the cross of Christ, you know? And then an upside-down cross. Like, it's interesting because that's kind of been used a bit like a satanic tool, but at the same time, Simon Peter, who was the foremost of the apostles, the people who followed Christ directly and continued to teach of him after he died, he was deemed worthy of a cross by the Romans for preaching in, I believe, Rome is where he finally got caught. And he demanded that because he felt unequal to Christ and thus felt unequal to his punishment, he requested that he be put on a cross upside down. So what I don't get here, like if I'm being very frank, these are obviously very religious-minded people. Why would they choose to crucify something that they considered unholy and evil? It may be the cross being upside down, but again, that should be the sign of somebody who felt lesser than the Christ himself. But still, not a badge of honor, but like in similitude of, like something that mimics that sacrifice, that martyrdom, you would say. So it's odd that they would choose to do that here. I honestly thought that was one of the reasons why crucifixions kind of went out the window, was they'd become a religious symbol, not something to be used as a means of execution. Maybe I'm just wrong in that regard, but that was my impression. And so it's odd to me that people who are claiming to be virtuous, and especially enacting by the names of like knights of the Holy Order, why would they do it on a cross? It just doesn't make any sense. It's humility. It's humiliating for sure, and horrible in every single conceivable way. And yet, if there would still be a part of them that would recognize that the cross had become a symbol of something holy, why would they choose to do that? I'm not sure. It's interesting. When he finished attaching my body to the cross, he and several other knights lifted it off the ground. Planting it in the center of the village square, the villagers showered the knights with their praise and gratitude. Now, for lack of trying, I was unable to get away from the cross. My soul was trapped there along with my body. Deiter didn't say a word the entire time. After a full day of hanging there, grotesque blackish splotches began appearing on my lower body. Everyone who saw it grimaced in disgust. The knights, Deiter included, had long since taken their leave, leaving my soul behind, curled up at the base of a cross. A constant stream of tears ran down my face. Despite all my prayers, I remained bound to that place, left to rot in the cross with my body. Passers-by threw rocks or spat on me. Children laughed. A mother warned her daughter to always obey God's teachings. By 48 hours, black feathered birds and maggots had appeared to devour my rotting flesh. I couldn't imagine a less pleasant sight than my own body decaying in the sunlight. Yeah, and the stench, I would burn it now at the simple scent of that, let alone just how barbaric this was. Here's the thing too, okay, another little rant here. We always see in the news about how things like video games are corrupting people and children and making them more violent. This kind of stuff happened all the time back in the day. Public executions, bodies hanging outside as warnings to bandits and other criminals. Kids would watch executions back in the day. They'd watch people get dismembered or torn apart or burned alive. Yet obviously that wasn't so reprehensible as to destroy their souls, I don't know. I think it's just silly to me how we tend to blame things like video games for violence when we're plenty capable of enjoying and cultivating and encouraging violence without it. Video games have never been substantially proven to do anything related to that. There is no study that has proven at all that video games can influence it, and yet for some reason they think that's what makes kids violent? Not the fact that we're inherently violent as a species. Not the fact that we still cling to these old, emotions and instincts that drove our ancestors to survive at all costs. And that sometimes we manifest those instincts in the worst possible ways, out of frustration, out of confusion, or simply out of a sense of just being evil. How can that possibly make sense to people if they ever actually learned how history was? Exposed for all to see. A group of children assembled in the square not far from the cross, and soon after, a competition began to see who could take down the evil witch. They gathered all the rocks they could find and started throwing them at my corpse as hard as they could. The stones ripped through my decomposing flesh, exposing bits of bone. Eventually, they settled on a winner, the one who had torn off the most flesh, and went on their way. And when they were gone, the birds flocked in to take their place. The third day and night came and went, and the sunrise on the fourth day I received a visitor. Watch your step, madam. The crucifix is this way. After everything I'd been through, I thought nothing more could possibly affect me. I had sunk as far down into the abyss as I could go. Is it his mother? However... Fetch. Mother. I knew it was her instantly. She was older and bonier than I remembered. She had bags under her eyes and so dark they looked like bruises. Her once lustrous blonde hair had faded almost white, but I would always recognize my own mother. What are you doing here, Mother? Father. In the 13 years since I last heard Mother's voice, I had grown raspy and weak. But there were still the distinct traces of in it the woman who had raised me, who had stayed by my bedside when I was sick. Though I lacked a physical body, I still felt a deep, piercing chill at the sound of her voice. Father, this is not my daughter. I did not birth this accursed thing. No. I am her victim. For years I suffered at the hands of this witch. She stole my daughter away from me, tormenting me endlessly, tormenting me, trying to ruin me. A demon. You're a demon. Mother, I despise you, you foul, hellish monster. I loved you. You took everything from me. I could never bring myself to hate my birth, Mother. I feel nothing but revulsion for you. I loved you. An eternity in the fires of hell would be too good for you. I often disagreed with the things you said and did, but I still remembered the feeling of your hand in mine as I lay sick in bed. I have absolutely no relation to this demon. I keep writing you letters, kept pretending to be a girl for you, because I didn't want to hurt you. This is not my daughter. I couldn't stand doing it. Whenever I sat down to write one, it came out a horrible wreck, even worse than before. But even so, send this monster straight to hell. I didn't want to break you, Mother. I didn't want to push you any further off the edge. Quickly, set me free of this cursed thing. But I suppose I still did end up breaking you. Please, be at ease, madam. The Lord has heard your prayers. Go away, Fawn, I don't need you. He wants you to cast the demon into the cleansing fires. He wants you to show him that, as you say, you have no relation to this unholy thrall. Gladly. I'll gladly send the vile creature to the pits of hell with my own 2 hands. Her eyes swirling with every hateful emotion imaginable, Mother took the torch from the priest and tossed it into the pile of straw spread about the base of the cross. The flames crackled as it spread upward, consuming my body and filling the square with a putrid stench of burning flesh. Through the cloud of smoke, I could see a faint smile on Mother's lips. Mother, I'm so sorry. You had to give birth to me. When the inferno devoured everything, the cross itself came crumbling down. My soul was finally released from that place. Or rather, I suppose it more shattered. The things I saw, the things I was made to watch, were harrowing. Morgana had been right. The anguish that came after knowing happiness was much greater than anything I'd felt before. It eroded my spirit, drained me of my willpower to bear the sight of the world after death. But rather than giving in to hatred like Morgana had, I despaired of myself. I didn't curse or begin a grudge against anyone. I prayed for my own extinguishment. My soul began to crumble, neither ascending to heaven nor falling to hell, but fading into darkness everlasting. My fingers were the first to go, then my ears and my mouth. All sound vanished into nothingness. My beating heart, and all the emotions that had once taken root within it, scattered like unto leaves upon the wind. My soul completely, wholly decomposed. I couldn't stand to allow my soul to return to the living world, no matter how odd it might take residence in. Some length of time later, I began to hear a sound, muffled and indistinct. No longer human in form, I had no ears to speak of, but the sound gradually increased in volume. It was a voice. Where are you? Michel? What are you doing? I'm still praying. I'm still wishing for you to appear before me. Forever and ever and ever. And ever and ever and ever. I've been praying for so long, I don't even know how long it's been. Before you left, you said you were going to pray too. You said you hoped we could meet again in another life. I'm not misremembering, am I? Michel, come back to me soon. As if drawn in by the sound of that voice, bit by bit I began regaining some of what I'd lost. But it took an incredibly long time. My body and soul had been ground to dust. I had rejected myself, scattering it into the void. It would take several lifetimes to finally find and reassemble all those pieces. Michel, all I can remember about you is your name and your glassy white skin, your fiery red eyes and your snow-colored hair. Nothing else. I had thought my mind, my body, my spirit, and my heart had all been eradicated. But every time I heard that voice, I thought I must return. Well, thought is perhaps inaccurate. It was not so much a conscious idea as an instinctive force. The voice slowly buried the overwhelming pain I had suffered in both life and death. I began to search for the source of that quiet, constant whisper echoing in the emptiness. Chasing after the tiny fleck of light, the one thing in the world that seemed to desire my presence. Michel, I'm no longer the girl I once was. I've built a thick cocoon around myself. A cocoon I can't break free of. My own protective shell is devouring me. I'm waiting for you, Michel. Waiting for you inside my shell. Always waiting. Will you be able to recognize the person I've become? Please, Michel, get me out of here. At long, long last, I found the ray of light I sought, and I had an absolute certainty that if I followed it, I would reach the source of the voice. I had to find them. I had to set them free. I desperately had to give back to them what they had given me, and that sense of purpose is what set me back into motion. But the void was so expansive, so endlessly deep, that I reached to the end of the trail of light was no easy task. Struggling to follow it to its source wore my barely held together soul thin, till it crumbled apart once more. Again and again I lost myself. I can't account for much of the time chasing after that light. The gaps in my memory are large and frequent. Nevertheless, after countless cycles of breaking down and reassembling myself, after hundreds of years of wandering, I finally found my way back to that mansion. And when the two of us had our long-awaited reunion, neither of us were our old selves any longer. In my endeavor to return, I'd worn my soul down to almost nothing. I was but a vague shadow, completely devoid of memories. And that was the beginning. We met each other anew, lost and broken, devoid of life. The darkness here reminds me of my time in the void, of the despair that filled my shattered soul as it sunk into the endless abyss. Alright, so was the white-haired girl actually him? It sounds like he was kind of in pieces the whole time, so maybe not. That might have been another lie of the witch to try and break down Giselle. Interesting. It really doesn't sound like he was coming back to life or not. Unless that was the times where he felt like he'd shattered and lost himself. Of the emptiness I felt as my body crumbled and faded into nothing. Michel, the poor soul whose name for an angel and bore with a curse, made to bear an unfairly cruel fate. I am but the only one who sympathizes with you. I am the only one who understands your pain. The only one willing to help you. I'm sure you're not feeling particularly fond of me now. Not after I made you relive the past you so wanted to forget. Every moment of that despair. Not after I reveal your every secret to the woman you love. But you must face the truth, my dear. You put your life, your very soul, on the line for this woman, and even she will not accept you. But as I've said before, that's the normal response. She's no worse than anyone else for it. You simply aren't something people can accept. I accept you, Michel, I promise. You believed that even your family wouldn't, that even your dear brothers wouldn't. Giselle wouldn't be able to accept you for you, that she alone was different, that she alone was special, that she alone wanted you in her life, that she alone would extend her hand for you. You never doubted that, did you? by Michel. Hope exists to be crushed, and the stronger you cling to that hope, the more you have to lose. You can hear that, can't you? Her mocking you, scorning you, rejecting everything that defines you. The revulsion in her voice. This is the woman you fought so hard to get back. Listen to it, my dear. Focus on her voice. Ugh. Disgusting. It's just repeating it over and over, though. Fetch, man. That's horrifying. Stop. Please. I don't want to hear it anymore. Make it stop. Can you blame her, though? For hundreds of years she waited, trusting you, and you came back to her a woman more than once. If you think about it, you betrayed her first. No, stop. I didn't. Tell me, what was it like? How did it feel being born to live as a woman? You spent your life insisting you weren't a woman, and yet your soul chose a female body to return in. All those gaps in your memory were from your lives as a white-haired girl. Fetch. Dang it. She could still be lying, man. Like, any secret texts? First there was the kind, mild-mannered, flaxen-haired boy. You, a woman, and he, a man, were joined in love. Fetch, man. And then there was the deranged man-beast. By exposing your female body to him, you were able to temporarily contain his madness. And finally, there was the man obsessed with money and power. You were his wife, ever faithful, waiting patiently for him to remember his love. Poor Michel. You put your faith in the wrong person's love. How can you expect her not to be disgusted? She was forced to watch again and again as her man she loved was reborn as a woman and had relations with other men. Would you like to know what you're doing this very moment, Michel? You're crying. Crying as you've done so many times before. Those tears, they wash away your dignity. Would you also like to know how you look right now, Michel? You've reverted to your final moments, both in body and in heart. Take a look at yourself, my dear. Your body, incomplete, only partially male. The wounds still fresh and raw, pierced by your brother whom you trusted completely, and the knights whose ranks you dreamed of joining. Even now, your blood still flows from those wounds. They will never heal. It's not so long as you remain yourself. Fetch. Oh, man. It's not pleasant, is it? It hurts quite a bit, doesn't it? I did not inflict these wounds on you, though. They are your own, and no one can erase them. You've lost everything, Michel. Tell me, what do you have left? You were robbed of your pride, your dignity, your life, your identity, your very existence. And the love you thought you still had? Well, she's gone and left you behind too. Oh, and still you refuse to curse anyone? Why do you not take what you deserve from those who stole everything from you? You have every right for vengeance. I'm offering you the means to have it. Curse them, my dear. I cannot curse anyone. You disappoint me, Michel. But if that's what you want, if you won't join me in my hatred, then so be it. I will accept we are not similar as I once thought, and as much as it pains me to do so, I will release you. I will even wish for your reconstruction into the body you desire. You shall descend into the mortal realm as a human man, never to set foot in this cursed mansion again. Imagine it. After waiting so long, you'll finally be able to obtain the body you so desperately seek. To to have a wife and create a happy family of your own. Wouldn't that be just lovely? What a poisonous promise to make him. If she's even capable of doing that, I wouldn't believe her. But, and the exchange that he has to do is to abandon Giselle. But we must not let go of her hand, dang it. I'll make that wish for you, my dear. You can have that life, and all you have to do is walk out the door. It's that easy. Just let go. Let it all go, Michel. Decision? No, we're not letting go, dang it. Yeah, there we go. Don't listen to her. Who's that? Don't trust anything she says. Don't trust anything she shows you. Michel, you told me to believe in my love, that if I could survive for hundreds of years, it must be real. So don't start doubting it now. Yes! Open your eyes, Michel, and look at me. The music, oh my gosh. She's here. The other one, the one that called him disgusting, she was probably she was an illusion too. Why didn't I think of that? Listen to me, please. Listen to the sound of my voice. Michel, will you listen to what I really think? How I actually feel? I would never ever push you away. Do you remember what I said, Michel, when you broke through the cocoon I had built around myself? I said that I would never come to hate you. I still stand by that. My feelings haven't changed in the slightest. It doesn't matter what kind of past you had, or what kind of secrets you kept. I still love you. You accepted me, Michel. I spent hundreds of years trapped in this place, watching as tragedy after tragedy befell its residents, slowly losing grip on myself until I'd been twisted so far I couldn't tell them like stories with a cold smile on my face. And despite what I'd become, you still took my hand. You still said you loved me, no matter what horrors you experienced, and I will always and forever take your hand. Michel. Fetch, guys. Fetch! No. Giselle. Please have faith in me, Michel. Don't believe what some illusion says. Believe me. Believe the real me. You have it backwards, Giselle. The truth is, I never once doubted you. What? I never doubted your love. Michel. I despised myself. I hated that I was so weak I couldn't even bear being rejected by the phantom made to look like you. I didn't want you to see me like that. I didn't want you to know I was so weak. To see my past, to see me now, a pitiful and sightly mess. I couldn't stand the thought of seeing any of that. If only in your memories, if only for you, I wanted to be gallant like a man. I wanted to be the man who never cried, who never showed weakness, and who died trying to protect you. I didn't want you to know that I was so weak, that I was such a sad, frail person, and not even a real man. Michel, I didn't want you to see that. Morgana was telling the truth. I opened the door to our past in order to bring you back, but that wasn't the whole story. I kept details about myself out, things that would make me look bad. There's no one as shameful and reprehensible as me. No, Michel. There's no one in the world as admirable as you. You remained true to yourself to the end, no matter how bad things got. Day after day you fought all alone, despite being put through hell. Yet you chose not to curse those responsible. Only once did you ever consider cursing someone. Your father. I remember that day very well. I was too stupid to realize it at the time. But you did that for me. The only time I ever wanted to curse someone was for me. Give yourself a little more credit. You did perhaps come off a bit inscrutable, but deep down you're truer to yourself than anyone. Your motivation's simple and pure. Your heart full of kindness, knowing that you're a wonderful, admirable man, Michel. Be proud of who you are. Oh, I can't handle that. Oh my gosh. He's never once been told that. The one time he was kind of told that it didn't seem like it was heartfelt from his brothers. Fetch, man. That doesn't change how much suffering I put you through, Giselle. I was the white-haired girl. The girl in the portrait was me. It was all me. I came back more than once, showing up as a woman and disappearing again, hurting you, completely unaware, pushing you away, leaving nothing but tragedy in my wake. I'll never forgive myself for what I did to you. Have faith in yourself, Michel. Follow your heart. I know it was a secret you didn't want revealed, but for me, I couldn't be happier knowing the truth, because it shows just how incredibly much you love me. Not only in life. In the hundreds of years I spent trapped in this mansion, you spent searching for me. In that vast, empty, hopeless void, you heard my voice. Your love guided you to me. When I had lost everything, your love for me still lived on. Even as it tore you apart, you kept fighting to make it back to me. A few blanks in your memory don't account for how someone so fiercely determined could suddenly become a completely different person. But, Giselle, how am I supposed to believe that? How am I supposed to believe that it wasn't me, when everything about us is exactly the same? You are not the white-haired girl, Michel. Have faith in your own heart and the things you stand for. Have faith in your true self, in the person you are, the shape of your soul. You were never the white-haired girl, and you never will be. Remember when you first arrived at the mansion, Michel? I took your hand, and together we watched dozens of different lives play out. Were your memories anywhere among them? It wasn't behind those doors that you found yourself, but in the remnants of the months we shared here. She's got such a good point. Was the white-haired girl anywhere in your memories? You are Michel. No one else. But that doesn't change what my body... I know you, Michel. I know who you are deep down. I love you from the bottom of my heart. And I want you to understand that. I know how you feel. Though we only share our love for a month in life. Fetch, man. It was enough for me to wait hundreds of years for you to return. And you fought with everything you had to make it back to me, to get me out of here. You are the greatest man I've ever known. Giselle, how is it that you always manage to see straight through me, Giselle? To give me exactly what I want. That smile, that single ray of light in the endless dark. To say exactly what I so desperately yearned to hear. The words I've sought for countless years. Where is she going? Giselle! I reach out for her, but she's begun to fade, her outline hazy and blending into the surroundings. And all I manage to grab is empty air. I want more than anything to feel her warmth right now. The sensation of her skin against mine, but there's nothing there. Please, Giselle, don't leave my side again. Don't worry. Don't worry, I'm right here with you. I'm not going anywhere. Giselle, put your hands on my shoulders. Wrap your arms around me. I can't. I want to so much, but I can't feel you there at all. You can, Michel. I promise. Close your eyes. Now reach forward, slowly. You can feel me there, can't you? That's my finger. That's my hair. Those are my eyes. And here are my lips. Here's my heart, where I kept all the feelings you gave back to me. And my love for you. In body and in spirit, I am all yours. Can you sense me here beside you? I think I can. Now, hold on, and don't let go. You know, it's kind of funny. We're like two awkward kids around each other, bound together by a love so amazing and powerful. Yet we only ever held hands a few times, and embraced like some incredible achievement for us. We were supposed to be full-grown adults. Kiss me, Michel. We never got the chance while we were alive. Giselle. Or are you going to tell me to wait again? Not this time. I felt my way around the emptiness where she is. Her skin white but not pallid. Her slightly flushed cheeks dimpled by her smile. Her lips, which at times called me master and at times called me Michel. Her entire being. This woman who accepted me as a man. Who even in death continued to bring back from the darkest places. She is my everything. I feel a faint breath against my neck. Somewhere between a sigh and a giggle. I feel her warmth, which I thought would never know again. The soft touch of her skin. I envision her face before me where I'm sure she is. With her eyes closed. I'm sorry. And I pressed my lips against hers. It's a quick, clumsy affair, just a little peck. Not the kind of kiss two grown adults might be expected to share. But nonetheless, a gentle warmth spreads through my body from the place our lips touched. It doesn't say it's so pleasant, so nice. I can hardly believe it's real. Our surroundings dissolve. And the world takes on a new face. A plane of tranquil light created by Giselle, into which the mansion's darkness slowly seeps. And the difference is, I'm not afraid to step back into it. All it took was a single irreplaceable moment to change my everything. My gosh. Oh, I can't see her there. I can feel her presence right beside me. Her heart, and that she too can feel mine. I won't falter anymore. I'm through hesitating, wavering in fear over my own weakness. I will look into the future. Believe in myself, because she believes in me. I'm done carrying the change I created for myself. I have work to do. No more looking away from my responsibility. As the light dims and darkness begins to take over, I hear my voice in my ear. Michel, can I ask you to lead your hand to someone? You sent me free, and now I'd like to do the same for her. This is something I don't think anyone else can do. Only you can rid the mansion of its darkness. I'm here with you too. So let's open the final door together. The true final door. We can put an end to all this tragedy. I know we can. Now, off we go, Michel. And do not let go of my hand. I don't know what to expect from here. Bitch. Some weird creepy voices. Giselle. Reality fades back into view. I'm looking at neither the endless eroding darkness nor the visions of my past, but the sea of blood spreading in all directions. I'm standing at the top of the observation tower outside the door. I've returned. Back in Morgana's world, her bitter, hate-filled, curse-fueled world. To tell you the truth, I did not see this coming. This is my mansion. My domain. She was supposed to be locked up. But it would seem my will is not as absolute as I thought. What would you call that? The power of love? Is that what allowed this to happen? How trite. Wherever's the magic, the miracle? I can think of only one other reason she was able to escape. And it's the only way we'll be able to find the power we need to cast off the darkness of this house. But first, before we do anything else, we must open this door. Whatever nonsense that woman filled your heart with, it certainly seems to have put a fight in those eyes. Well, good for you, my dear. A little confidence boost doesn't erase the fact that you were on the ground crawling through the filth like a worm, tears streaming down your face as you tried to ignore what lay before you. I'm all slibbly now. A little self-esteem isn't going to make you any less helpful when you step through that door. But it won't stop me from trying. I'm done acting like you're some inevitability, some force of nature. It's time for me to take a stand, Morgana. The air around the door has a distinct chill to it as I place my hand against the wood surface. My arms, once bloody and lacerated, are now whole again. I can feel my entire body, everything back in its rightful place. I take in a breath and lift my head, focus my gaze on the door, and push it open. Resting on the back of my hand, I can feel another palm, soft and warm. Let's do this. Through the single window sitting high atop the wall shines a ray of light. A black butterfly flutters within the beam. Its form and indistinct, wavering like a mirage, it slowly descends to the tower floor. And then, from the darkness, the person appears. Is that you, Morgana? Ooh, that's creepy. How does it feel to finally meet the real thing, my dear? I knew you were young, but you really are still a child. Having heard her tale, I know she died still a girl, and I know that she came to bear much of the so much hatred for the world. But knowing and seeing are two very different things. The sight of her bony adolescent body is a painful reminder that she never had a chance to know happiness, to know adulthood before being robbed of her life. I had assumed monster would be your first reaction. With a face and a body like this. Man. How very sweet of you, Michel. So tell me, what exactly do you mean to do now that you're here? Your ultimate goal was, as I understood it, to take Giselle back. But she's no longer here for me to return to you. She broke out of my cage and exhausted what remained of her soul to show herself to you. Oh, that smile, man. Fetch. Ugh.
I cannot perceive even a trace of her presence any longer. So I presume her soul shattered, disappeared into nothing.
No, she's right here beside me.
Is that so? You seem to believe as much anyway. Which only makes your presence here a bigger mystery. Ah, I know. You want revenge. I made you miserable while you were alive, and I continue to torment you in death.
My head itches, I don't know why.
You entrusted me with Giselle's life, and I used her for my own ends. You must despise me. Hatred fills you. You want to curse me, to kill me. My death could mean the end of all of this. Shall I grant you that wish?
She flicks a finger. In the next second, a longsword clatters to the floor at my feet.
Take the blade in your hand, and like the knight of old who executed the witch, pierce my heart with it. Do what now should have happened then. You always wanted to be a knight, didn't you? Go on, pick it up. Show me your revulsion, my dear.
Morgana, I do have a reason for being here. I came to save you.
Did you hit your head on the way up? You came to save who?
I spent so long trying to look away when I should have been trying to look deeper. To tell you the truth, your constant chattering in the darkness evoked more than annoyance in me. I empathized with your loneliness. I bear no hatred for you. It was my despair that brought you back to life, so that makes it my responsibility to end this.
My own wish gave me all the redemption I need, my dear. Why should I be expecting another self-righteous lecture about how hatred does you no good? Brilliant, Michel, brilliant. Do you have any idea how absurdly presumptuous you're being? Trying to force your idea of redemption onto someone who has no interest in it?
If the tale you showed me was the whole truth, then I would have said you could revile the heartless men as much as you pleased. But I refuse to believe that's the whole story. The men I saw beyond the first 3 doors had genuine concerns and worries. They felt things, real human emotions, even if those things ultimately led them down the path of destruction. Waiting to do something nice for the one you care about, being disgusted at things you've done, hiding your urges from those around you. You certainly couldn't call them good men, but they were real people with real conflicts.
So you're saying I'm lying? Well, I can't say I blame you. Who would believe the word of a witch?
I don't think you falsified your account, Morgana. The tragedy, no, the grisly reality you described, I don't doubt any of that happened. You wouldn't be here otherwise. But I've learned something in my years. Reality exists from more than one's perspective.
That doesn't change what happened. That two-faced young man deceived me, the beast severed my arm, and the greedy, power-hungry lord used me for his own personal gain.
Events by themselves do not tell the whole story. Only when you take into account their circumstances, what they thought and felt, their perspectives, only then can you say you've reached the truth.
Your point being, are you going to march down to where their souls are and ask them for their perspectives? Don't waste your breath. They'll only tell you what benefits themselves the most.
Then we do it our way. We open the door to your past.
And if I refuse? This is my domain, my world. I opened this in accordance to my will. The door won't open unless I allow it to.
Were you aware, Morgana, that I recovered my first memory in front of a mirror?
Your what?
You what? The same mirror Giselle used to practice her smile. In all those hundreds of years, bits of her memory came to reside within it. Every time she stood before the mirror, she had me in her heart. And next, I saw one of my own memories play out in my bedchamber. It was the first day after we opened the windows when she let the morning sun into my room. That day was a turning point in my life.
And why are you telling me this?
Because it means this world doesn't belong only to you. Oh, snap. It's also hers and mine. And that is why she was able to break free. Your wish is, without question, the most powerful of anyone's here, and you have more authority over the place than anyone else. There is no denying your position as master of this mansion. But Giselle and I, we too have influence over this domain. I was the only one who resurrected you, and she who served as your guide. So the door will appear, whether or not it is your will. Their souls reside here as well. They may spin convenient tales, but the memories ingrained upon their souls can tell no lies. All the pieces are on the board. The door will open.
Say the door does open. What does that change? Nothing those men have fought or felt can take back what they did to me. This rotting, broken creature they turned me into. I don't care what's going through their heads. They will never have my forgiveness. My hatred is unwavering. My wish will not be undone so easily. Their souls shall suffer for eternity.
Before we begin, Morgana, let's get one last lingering question out of the way.
And what might that be?
Who the white-haired girl is.
That's your lingering question? We've already established.
That was you, Morgana. Ho!
So in a desperate plea, you came back as a woman. You're not trying to make me into her. That perhaps is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. The way that was you, my dear. Don't avert your eyes. You must face reality.
I'm not averting my eyes. I am not in denial. I have faith. Faith that I only ever made it back to this mansion once. When I awoke in the rocking chair beside the fireplace.
Huh. Nevertheless, that hardly justifies accusing me of being that foolish girl. How could you possibly think I was here? Never have I not been present in these walls. Not even while she was alive in the claws of tragedy. My hair is not white, nor my eyes are red, and I look this horrid, festering face. How could I ever become her?
How your soul appears is irrelevant in this case, Morgana. I will uncover the truth about you. Things even you don't know. And if I can show you are in fact the white-haired girl, in that moment will your reality be rewritten.
If you're so confident, then be my guest. Find out for yourself just how little you're capable of.
Blackness filled the observation tower once more. Morgana fades into the distance, leaving me alone in the dark stream. It's a darkness I've seen, felt, and been consumed by numerous times since arriving at the mansion. But this time I welcome it, praying that beyond the lies of truth were the power to release all from the house's grip. This next tale has no narrator. I won't sit back and listen as someone recounts the path of fate for me. No, I have to find the path for myself this time. I don't know what awaits me beyond the black, but no matter what it may be, as long as I have the power to provide redemption, I must never put down my sword. Now, let's open the door. And final door. The true final door. It's even called the final door. Fetch. This is going to be interesting. And this is where we're going to have to continue next time. Fetch, man. Well, there's your blue shifting man tears for you. That was amazing. Oh, those episodes wrung me dry. But Fetch, that was good. Fetch, that was so good. And now And now we get to see the human side of her story, which is such an interesting... I can't believe I didn't even think of that. That's so cool. I wonder what we're going to learn this time. Interesting, interesting. But I need to go breathe and cry, baby. That was so good. Man, I'm so glad Giselle's here. I'm so glad that she's freed now. And now we just need to free Morgana and it's all over. And perhaps then we can have another chance. But for now, let's find the pieces of this puzzle. Thank you guys so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me and sticking with me through the man tears. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I hope that you have been continuing to enjoy and that together we'll find the final answers to this story. But until the next video, watch me, have seen me next. I'll see you there.